Okay, all right, places, everybody, here goes. Join us now in listening to a Christmas tradition as the Radio Oz players on the All-American Alarm Clock crew present Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
God bless us, everyone. God
Yes,
bless us,
Tiny
everyone.
Tim. God bless us, everyone.
Once there was a dreadful old man named Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh, he was a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, clutching old sinner. Scrooge had been in partnership for many years with Jacob Marley, so his firm was known as Scrooge and Marley. But Marley had been dead for 7 years. Yes, dead as a doornail, and old Scrooge lived alone and disliked everybody. He had a clerk in his office named Bob Cratchit, and he only paid the poor fellow, who had 4 children, a wage that scarcely fed them. The meager office that Cratchit sat in was like a cold, dismal little cell. When Cratchit stopped to warm his hands over the burnt-out coals, Scrooge looked up over his glasses and said,
Cratchit, on with your work now.
"But, Mr. Scrooge, the fire's almost out and my hands are numb. I need more coal."
How many times have I told you I won't have you burning up my coal as if it were rubbish?
But sir,
Get
please.
back to your work.
Yes, sir. It was Christmas Eve, and into the office of Scrooge and Marley popped Scrooge's nephew, Fred.
Merry Christmas to you, Uncle. God save you. Bah, humbug. Christmas? A humbug, Uncle? Surely you don't mean that. I do. Merry Christmas? What right have you to be merry? You're poor enough, Fred. Oh, come. What right have you to be dismal? You're rich enough. Bah, humbug. Oh, don't be cross, Uncle. What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools like this? What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money, a time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer? If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled with his own Christmas pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. Oh, Uncle, Fred, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine. But you don't keep it. Well, let me have it alone then. Much good may it do you. Much good it has ever done you. Uncle Scrooge, Christmas is the only time in the long calendar of the year when men and women seem by one consent to open their hearts freely. And therefore, Uncle, although it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, God bless it.
Good for you, Master Fred. Good for you.
Another word out of you, Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your job.
Sorry.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow. Good afternoon, Fred. Oh, I'm sorry with all my heart to find you so determined. So, a Merry Christmas to you, Uncle Scrooge. Ah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. And, Happy New Year. Good afternoon. Bah, Christmas indeed. Bah, humbug. Oh, now what? Cratchit, see who's at the door.
Very good, sir.
And who are you, sir?
Do I have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead for 7 years. 7 years ago, this very night.
I see. Well, sir, at this time of the year, we must all give generously to help the poor and the destitute. Do you agree?
Bah! Humbug!
Oh, surely you don't mean that, Mr. Scrooge. What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You mean you wish to remain anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Good day.
I see. All right. Good day to you, sir, and Merry Christmas.
Bah! Humbug! Christmas! Christmas! Christmas!
Well, sir, it's
what?
It's quitting time.
Yes.
And, sir, I was wondering if I could have the day off tomorrow, if it's convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I was to dock you half a crown for it, you'd think yourself very ill-used, wouldn't you? And yet, you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
But it's Christmas only once a year,
Bah,
sir.
Christmas. Nothing but a poor excuse to pick a man's pocket every December 25th. And you, a clerk with 15 shillings a week and a family and a wife to support. Talk about a Merry Christmas. Bah!
May I have tomorrow off, sir?
I suppose you must.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
But be here all the earlier the next morning.
I will, sir. I will, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Late that evening, Scrooge left his dreary office and went home to his dismal chambers. Chambers once occupied by his dear departed partner, Jacob Marley. It was dark, and when he reached the house, he was amazed to notice that the knocker on the door was...
I thought I saw Marley's face on the door. Rubbish. Nothing.
So up the stairs he went, as boldly as he could, and entered his dark, gloomy room. Darkness was cheap, and so he liked it, the old miser. Inside his room, everything appeared as it should be.
Nobody under the table or the sofa. No one in the closet.
Scrooge, quite satisfied, locked the door, took off his coat, put on his dressing jacket, and sat down before the fire to take his meal of gruel. He sat down looking at the low fire, and he suddenly realized that every tile about the grate had on it a copy of old Jacob Marley's face staring at him.
Humbug. Humbug. I don't believe it. Rubbish.
Scrooge walked across the room. After several turns, he sat down, threw his head back in the chair. There was an old bell high up in the rooms, and it began to ring while a noise downstairs gave him a start.
What's that? Who's there? Who is it? Who is it?
Suddenly, right through the wall and then on into the room, Scrooge saw before his very eyes...
Marley. Jacob Marley. What do you want with me? Who are you?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Bah!
Don't you believe me, Ebenezer?
I certainly don't.
What evidence would you have of my reality? Don't you trust your own senses?
Well, a little thing might upset the senses. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheat. You might just be a bit of underdone potato, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a bit of undigested meat. There's more gravy than grave about you, whatever you are. Oh, mercy. Dreadful apparition. Why do you trouble me so?
Man of the world and life. Do you believe in me?
I do. I must. But why do spirits walk the earth, and why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide to do good. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death.
Please don't do that. Your shackles. Tell me why.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it, link by link, yard by yard. Is its pattern strange to you?
Jacob Marley, tell me more. Speak comfort to me, Jacob.
I've none to give, Ebenezer Scrooge. In life, my spirit never roved beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hole, and weary journeys lie before me. Hear me, my time is nearly gone.
I will, but don't be hard on me, Jacob.
I'm here tonight, Ebenezer, to warn you that you've yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate.
You were always a good friend, Jacob. Thank you.
Hear what I say. You will be haunted by 3 spirits. Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first when the bell tolls 1. Expect the second on the next hour. The third on the next hour. Look to see me no more, and remember what has passed between us, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Scrooge receives a few visitors when our story, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, continues on Radio Oz.